Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Juma. A few years ago, I went to France expecting a movie. What I got was real life with subtitle I did not understand. I really thought everyone wore berets. I thought every croissant, or as the French say, poisson, would change my life. I thought French people were rude. I thought France was all romance and elegance. Basically, I thought France was perfect. Spoiler alert, I was wrong. When I arrived in Paris, I stood there waiting for the background music to start playing. I was waiting for Love and Rose, my favorite song. I was looking for stylish people in scarves, but all I saw were people in puffer jackets, taking selfies, texting, and checking Instagram. I was looking for romantic cobblestone streets, but I found myself dragging my suitcase over bumps to next overflowing trash bins. I expected every bite of bread to feel like a food commercial. But mostly, I saw people stuffing sandwiches into their mouths and sprinting to work. And while everyone else looking totally normal, I was the only one spinning around like, wow, this is Paris. I expected perfection. Instead, I got slapped by reality. And honestly, it hit me right in my face, right after I got lost in the metro. The first misconception is that I thought everyone in Paris wore berets. I seriously expected Paris to look like an old-fashioned movie. You know, striped jeans, red lipsticks, berets at the perfect angle. Instead, I saw people in jeans, hoodies, sneakers, running late, arguing with their kids, checking emails like the rest of us. Now, let's talk about the food. Another is, I thought every croissant would be life-changing. In my head, French food meant fancy plates, tiny portion, food arranged like artwork, and words I could not pronounce. Ordering food felt like a spelling test I didn't study for. But the best thing I ate in Paris wasn't from a fancy restaurant. It was bread and cheese. That's it. I bought a baguette from a bakery, grabbed some cheese from the market, sat on bench, and started eating like I had just survived something. No fancy decoration, no dramatic presentations, just bread and cheese and happiness. And that's when I learned food in Paris isn't about being extra. It's about being simple, but done right. I thought misconception would end there. But of course, nothing was certain until you got there. Before going to France, I prepared very seriously. Because I thought French people were very rude. I learned three important things. Bonjour, merci, oui. That's it. That was my entire survival kit. On my first day, I got lost underground in the metro. I panicked. I rushed through a revolving door and I slammed into a man holding a huge tube. I froze. I thought, this is it. I'm about to get yelled at in French. But instead, he looked at me calmly and said, it's okay. Are you looking for the sixth string? It's just around the corner. And in that moment, I realized something. People in Paris aren't rude. They are just not fake. They don't do random small talk. But if you need real help, they show up. Another realization is, I thought Paris was all romance and elegance. But just like how they say, to see is to believe. We imagine Paris like this: candle lights, couples walking slowly, soft music, poetry in the air. But when I got there, Paris has traffic, Paris has noise, Paris has contraction, Paris has people yelling about parking. Yes, it's elegant, but it's also messy, and that's what makes Paris real. The beauty is not just in postcard views, it's in small moments. Someone reading on the train, someone calmly ordering coffee, all buildings standing quietly while chaos moving around them. I thought it would end there, but I guess this was my biggest realization. I really thought France was perfect as it was. I wanted Paris to be flawless, but perfection doesn't exist, especially not in the city that has been around for over 2,000 years. If a place has no problems, no mess, no surprise, it's not magical. It's boring. When I finally let go of my fantasy version of France, the perfect romance, the perfect beauty, the perfect country, I finally saw the real one. And honestly, the real France was better. So, this is what France taught me. The most beautiful places in the world are not the ones that meet your expectations. They are the ones that surprise you, challenge you, confuse you a little, and quietly change you. Because when life doesn't go as expected, that's usually when it gets interesting. Merci.